closer on the face.
That was, there's more to the movie, of course. That was
It goes from head right through up to the toe and back again. From head to toe.
Oh, yeah.
And you notice the women always giggle. It was shown at the Cannes Film Festival, and he got an ovation, believe it or not. And, but the women always giggle like mad, especially as it's getting higher.
Yeah. Just before it was getting very interesting, you know, I mean, sort of.
It was just getting interesting, but of course we're on TV.
Yes, this is television, after all.
This isn't Channel 13, is it?
I didn't even know you could...
More! Steady rolling. Aye, aye. I don't
when the censor found out the movie was called The Fly, you can't imagine what he thought.
Imagine.
Maybe you can. The Fly, you must have done an enormous number of retakes to get The Fly to do...
Well, we had an enormous number of flies. In fact, the credits are almost as long as the film, because there's so many people catching flies from the back of dirty New York restaurants and things like that. And then we were catching them in the room.
Yeah.
The girl was very good, and her name was
that?
Virginia Lust.
Virginia Lust, L-U-S-T?
Yeah, L-U-S-T. Get out of that.
Did the movie lead to other roles for her or The Fly?
I should hope so. Well, I think
well, after 2 years of making movies, we made about, say, 12 together and apart. And we finally got deals here with people called Genesis in America and somebody else in Britain. And they'll be going around all the different colleges. So before, our films haven't really been seen, so nobody really knows that we're filmmakers. Yeah. We've had them in Cannes Festival. They did all right in there. We had them in the Edinburgh Festival. There's a chance they're going in the New York Festival. They're definitely going in the San Francisco Festival. And they should be later this year starting to... About 5 of them probably will tour America. So you're serious about film? Oh, sure. Film is, well, it's like recording, only with your eyes, you know. You just make it visually, and it's just as interesting. And to combine the both is really interesting. How would you feel about me if I were to ask if Bottoms was shown at the Cannes Festival? Bottoms wasn't, no. That was a bad joke. That was a joke. Oh, yeah. Well... That answers my question. Yes, we'll be back after this. No, wait a minute. Will you explain the people in the bags before the evening is out? Yes. Not now, but before the evening is over. Are you going to tell a story of how you started the bag event?
Yes, well, that was when some composer was going to visit me from Europe, and I was sort of, you know, I didn't really want to meet because I'm basically a very shy person. And then I thought, well, you know, people don't believe me when I say I'm very shy, but we're both actually. And then I thought, no, I don't want to meet him, but then there wasn't anything I can do. So finally, he was coming, and it was about an hour before he was coming, and I couldn't do anything about it. So I just, you know, out of desperation, made a bag, and I was in the bag when he came to visit me. An all-over bag or just over your head? All over. All over. Yes. That's a terrific idea. Well, where's Miss Ono and all that? And, oh, yes, well, it's you, is it? And all that. And he was pretty calm about it because he's heard of my work and all that. So he thought, oh, is this your, you know, musical piece or something? And, I mean, it was very comfortable, you know, because then I didn't have to be seen, you know. I could see him, but I couldn't. And there's no prejudice. If people are in bags, you know, if a black man goes for a job in a bag, if everybody had to go in a bag for a job, there'd be no prejudice, you see. You'd have to judge people on the quality within, you know, and we call it total communication. We were asked to make a film for Austrian TV, which we did, called Rape, which wasn't a rape, but it was called Rape. It was rape by camera, in fact. And when we went to Austria to show it, we did a press conference there in a bag, and it was great because all the press came in, you know, and they never saw us. We were just both in a bag, and they interviewed the bag, and they're saying, "Oh, is it really you? And what are you wearing? And will you sing a song?" And that. And why us? And they said, "What is this?" And I said, "It's total communication." They said, "But why did you pick on us? We've never seen a Beatle." And it was beautiful. And they were saying, "Do you realize the Habsburgs lived here?" And we're saying, "Yeah, so." And it was a great press conference, and they all had a very serious conversation with the bag. And next day, the headlines in Austria were, you know, the show of bag, and all the important pressmen all just talking to it. So those are in the audience. We have 2 friends which are who are in fact in bags. See, we thought of a thing that we must take a break now. Yes. That's right. We will take a break, and we will get to them after that. Stay with us. Would everyone wearing a bag please step up here so we could see what, the 2 people in the second row? I've never had guests... Let it down, mate. You can see your legs there. What's going on? Can I help you adjust your... There we are.
Now, see, if they were going for a job, you see, and you say, oh, what are your qualifications?
How do you do?
And what colour are you? And are you Christian or are you Hebrew? And yeah, you got the job. Mm.
Let us know when you're through voting. You know, I have no idea what sex either of you is, and I assume you do.
Well, you see, you could go in the bag and make love to one of them and find out.
I would, but this is a very short segment.
Oh, I see, okay. Do you want to go off again, then?
If we had more time.
Yes, I know.
Oh, they're leaving.
Seen one, you've seen them all.
Wait, one thing. One thing. You will speak to me. It's funny, because I don't know where to look. I don't know if your nose or your eyes are here.
Come back here.
Are you a lady?
Yes, I am.
Would you hold where you are for just a moment? Just stay where you are. I'm offering you a glass of water.
I don't drink water.
You don't drink water?
We did an interview.
Have I made a social faux pas?
No, I think it's all right, because you don't know whether she's powering or phoning in there, do you? So it's all right. You see, we did a talk show in England, and every time the man wanted to talk about Beatles, the interviewer, because I'm fed up talking about them, I asked him to go in a bag, and he did it. And the interviewer, the Dick Cavett in England, he was in the bag all the time. So every time the camera panned to him, the audience broke up, so he could never get the questions out. It's a very good show. Yeah. Hello.
Thank you for being here.
All right. Charming.
Can you find your way down now? Okay.
You look very nice.
Yes, you're looking a little pale, but very nice.
They could be changing film, of course.
They could be doing anything in there, for all we know.
That's what it's about.
We will be right back after this message.
No, I was just saying that I stood in Trafalgar Square in London, you know, wearing that bag before I met John, and I was thinking that if everybody wore this bag, then there wouldn't be any racial war, things like that. In those days, I was sort of really a bit obsessive about things like that, and thinking, oh, well, I should go, you know, in front of White House or something and wear a bag, and if I get shot or something, maybe the whole world would become peaceful, you know, somebody has to, or whatever, you know, things
Another
like that.
crazy idea is that if all the world leaders, just before they met, took their trousers down, you know, for the peace meeting, they might have a peace meeting. Or if all the soldiers, before they charge, have to take their trousers down, you see. Nobody could fight in that situation.
That's right.
Well, it would work.
I have seriously thought of, before my face was known to a lot of people like it is now, I used to think, you know, the days you want to go out of the apartment or the house, but you don't want to run into anybody or talk to anybody. And I thought of wearing a sack over my head, just with eyes in it. I don't know why people don't do that. But you can't. I found out it's illegal.
To wear a bag?
It's illegal to appear masked in public. I was told.
We've got some great footage in the film.
I have a mask now.
You have a mask now?
We've got great footage in our film we're just making with a man in a bag wandering all over London, you know. And most people don't take any notice of him. He's just walking around. It's fantastic. Yeah, there's another old bag walking. Some people have made a profession of it. I've seen two Sachs doing comedy show on TV in America, and she was doing this in '61. The first bag event was done in '61, and since I've seen people, like there's a comedy team in America that wear Sachs.
Who appear in Sachs.
Yeah.
There's some that have been asked to. What was it the man yelled at in the audience in the Eamon Andrews show in England? I read several clippings in your album called Wedding. It said there were letters to the London Times and other papers saying, thank God someone in the audience finally yelled out to John Lennon what we've all been wanting to say to him. And then with excellent British reporting, they didn't tell what it was.
Oh, I don't know what it was. We went on this show.
About that show, you know.
It was a terrible show. Eamon Andrews, who's very nice, is the compere of the show. We went on. And then suddenly, we were doing a peace campaign, and suddenly the audience started shouting all sorts of abuse at us, you know. And we were thinking, what's going on? You know, it's like now, we're just talking, suddenly the audience starts shouting, get your hair cut, and you know, long hairs, go back to where you came from, all that kind of jazz, you know. And they were shouting, the Yehudi Menyon was on there, we're discussing peace, and the Yehudi Menyon goes, sometimes it is necessary to kill. And it was a really freaky show, and we were horrified, and the audience was sort of calling names. I'd forgotten what they said. We were just, I was speechless. We were terrified. You know? And I thought they were going to come and attack us. And
was this
people like you know, we fought the war for you, and all that old jazz, al-cap crap, you know.
Yes. Was this before or after you had spent your week in bed with all that publicity?
That was,
After, probably.
after.
Yeah.
Because
Yes,
that set a lot of people on edge.
But
I don't know what they
the
thought.
same guy, Eamon Andrews, had us, after we'd done one of the bed events in Amsterdam or Toronto, had us on his show, and he did the show from a bed. So he was nice, you know. He said, well, you know, he thought we were genuine in our demonstration for peace, but a lot of people say, well, we don't want you to demonstrate for peace that way. We want you to do it our way. You know, that's what usually upsets people. But we're individuals, and we like to do things that are more conceptual than anything else, you know, where the idea is more important than whatever you're doing or the painting. And that's how we like to do things, so we don't fit into most people's bags.
So to speak.
Well, nobody should fit into anybody else's bag, you know. We should all have...
All have our own bags,
you know.
But you know that when you did that week in bed,
Yeah.
I don't know if everyone still knows exactly what happened. I'm sure people think that tremendously lurid things took place, and the press was, I think, expecting...
But the first time we did it in Amsterdam. You see, we were getting married. We knew we were going to get married, and we knew we were going to get chased by the press. And Yoko had always been doing things for peace. All her work was like she said she'd been standing in Trafalgar Square, and she'd done lots of different things for peace as an individual. Then when she married me, I said, look, I'm not going to stand in Trafalgar Square. I'll get slaughtered, you know. So she wanted to work for peace. We had to sit round and think of something we could both do together. We were going to get married, and we knew we'd just seen Jackie Onassis and whatever, you know, Aristotle and that. And all the chasing, and we're not as big as them, but all that chasing that they had, and they couldn't get away. Even with all those millions, he couldn't get away. So we thought, hey, we're going to be chased. So let's invite them round, you know. Let's use this occasion, instead of just saying, oh, whoopee, John and Yoko got married, the front page. There's no news in that. Let's use this, that we're going to be in the papers, let's use this space and just say peace instead. So what we did was we invited them to our so-called honeymoon. And they all thought we were going to make love in bed, you see, and all the press from all around the world came, and we opened our helpers opened the door, and they fighting to get in, you know, like this with the cameras. And then their faces dropped, and we're sitting like angels saying, hello, peace, brother. And all their faces dropped, and we were just in bed. And we thought it was a great practical joke that most of the world's headline newspapers, especially the European and British, was, married couple are in bed. Whoopee. It makes a change.
The novelty.
Yeah.
But, you know, I really wonder about that, because we are actually pretty sort of square, nice old couple. I mean, sort of quiet and all that. And how did they ever think of that, you know? I mean,
because we've done
I
two
can't
versions
imagine.
of
I
it.
think of you as Arthur and Catherine Murray.
That's very nice. I think of you and Ozzie and Harriet Clark.
You didn't have
Where's Dick? Where's Rick? Over there. Mom's having ice cream.
Pardon me. Didn't they get a Vice Squad out after one city,
Not for the
Amsterdam
bedding,
or
no.
somewhere, announced that the Vice Squad was going
when they heard we were going to
close your bed or
they
something?
thought it was going to be all that, you see, because people have such devious minds that mostly sort of have these strange ideas about our life, which is fairly normal, actually, in an abnormal situation. And so there was talk about that, but of course, all we did was talk from bed. All we did was allow the press in, because they're always asking to interview us. And instead of giving them 3 minutes, we just said, you can have as long as you want, ask anything you want. You know, you always think there's something to hide. Well, ask anything, and we gave them all as much time as we want for 7 days from the time we started it to the time we ended it. And they asked us everything, and we talked to people from Czechoslovakia, reporters, Hungary, and all around the world. And we did a lot of communication with the young people in the east part of the world, people from Russia and everywhere. And we thought that was good to communicate.